Good afternoon, and holy banana bread! It opened with the screen up. Let's get that down. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the bonus market close for Monday, July 8th. It's it's technically a green day. Hence, we got let's slide over a bit so you can see. Hence, we got the green sign up today, but it's actually kind of flat. I wouldn't even be surprised if I have to change that color before the end of the show, because it's flat. Not a lot happening on the market today. Definitely a fun day, but let's take a look. Let's see what is happening on the market. All right, just give me a second here. All right, and I'm gonna leave it this way because enough of you guys have said I'm always blocking something with my little head. So let's let's see if I can get used to it this way. So over on the markets, we've got the TSX. It is in the green. It is up 0.05%. So flat. S&P 500, same thing, 0.02%. Flat. NASDAQ, 0.01%. Flat. So we got a trend here. Now, gold is down 1.36%. Silver's down 1.31%. WTI is down 1.36%. But Bitcoin's having a not so bad day. Although I will tell you, if you look over here at this chart here, and I don't know if I can sort of zoom into this one little section here. Let's just try that. Yeah, we'll do it this way here. All right. So this is a move that I caught today, and I thought this was great. So I actually sold. I sold my Bitcoin assets right around here, and because, as you can see, we got the moving averages up top. They tend to act as resistance. So I sold here, and it kept going down and down and down, and I ended up buying back in around here. So that was a one nice little move. I was happy. I'm like, okay, I made my money for today on that move. I didn't actually make any other moves in here. I didn't get anything in here that really caught my attention. And sometimes it's like it's not like you lose the incentive after you've made your daily quota. But still, it was a good day. It was a good day for sure. And I think I kind of told you guys before, I sort of don't take money when it goes up. I take money when it goes down. So I kind of play that. It's not an inverse. It's just it's just how I take the money. Anyway, let's look at, here we go. Oh, what the banana bread? That is the US. Why is the US there? What has happened here, guys? All right. I will switch our US back because for some reason, my Canada flipped over to the US. I'm like, what's going on? All right. All Canadian companies. Here we go. All right. So we've got, the banks are not that bad. TD is up a little bit. BMO is up a little bit. Bank of Nova Scotia is up a little bit. The railroads are down. CNR's down a full percent today. CP's down a little bit as well. Yeah, Enbridge utilities look to be going down. Enbridge is down. Yeah, there's just a little bit. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're looking okay, up 1.64%. Dollarama is up 1%. Loblaws is up almost 1%. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. And of course, looking at our ETF heat map, VFV, they're a little bit ahead. That's normal for them. In that battle between XEQ and VEQT, VEQT has a slight edge. They're only down 0.07%. XEQT down a full 0.1%. So what can you say? Let's head over to the US this time for real. We got NVIDIA doing okay. They're up 1.85%. The rest of tech's not looking so good. You got Microsoft down, Google down, Meta down, Amazon down. And where the banana bread is, Tesla's flat. But yeah, of the Magnificent Seven, all of that magnificence is in NVIDIA today. Apple is up a tiny bit as well. AMD is also up. Like, look at this, 3.8%. So that's not too shabby either. Okay, over to our crypto. And here, let's get rid of that. I don't need that on the side for this one. Once again, not a bad day on the crypto market. You do have Bitcoin up just a tiny bit, but Ethereum's made some good moves. Solana is looking pretty solid. XRP is up. Cardano and Dogecoin. Let's pick some random. Let's find some random coin that I have no idea what it is. Let's just click and see what I get. We've been on this one before. What are the odds that I would have clicked on Hydra? We'll try that again. It's rigged. I tell you. All right, here we go. Velas. I have never heard of Velas. I don't know what Velas is. There's like so many different crypto out there, more than 14,000, which makes me really find it's funny that I hit Hydra twice. That's hilarious. But they're down big time. This doesn't look like a coin I would certainly even want to be involved in. So that's our random coin I've never heard of the day. Holy cow. The beautiful thing is, with over 14,000 of these, we're never going to run out. We're always going to have some weird coin. If anybody knows what Velas is, let us know in the chat. I would be curious to know. All right, let's get to the chat. Let's see. 3:51. Just paying attention here to the time as well, because we don't want to miss the bell. Jonathan is in the house with an "Am I late?" Nope. Got the day off. Nice, Jonathan. You gotta love a day off. Hopefully, it's because you scheduled it that way, and you know, or there's other ways you can get days off that are perhaps not as fun, like a sick day or things like that. Jungle says, "I am more likely to be watching at work than at home." Not too shabby. I'll see. I put the stationary in stationary engineer. Cool. Now that's funny. When I hear stationary engineer, I'm thinking two things. Either you create engineering designs for things that are stationary. That could even include buildings, I guess. But or you design notebooks and stuff, and you're an engineer designer of stationery. So it's one of the two. Let me know. I'm kind of curious. I could be completely way off on both of those. Stan is in the house with a hello all, and we got Jordan. What's up, Mountain Fam? Hope you are all doing well today. Prairie's in the house. Afternoon Candace and chat. Listening in as I work. We got Vineet in here with a hi all or a hey all, and then a hi all from a Sammer. Jay says, bought VFV last May, and so far I'm up $300. I sold some to buy QMax. Okay. Yeah, I mean, VFV is a solid ETF, and it goes up. That's what it does. So yeah, not surprising there. Not surprising. We got Al Bundy in the house with a hola and good vibes. Happy Monday. Sammer says, I bought SMR and NNE 15 days ago, and both are doing really well. Nice. Nice. Here's Jonathan with a hail Hydra. We knew that was coming. All right. Got some news on the 4,000 sub thing. So we're getting close. So we're currently sitting at 3,978. So we're looking at 22 more. So obviously we're going to hit it really, really soon. So I've been thinking. I don't think the chances of it hitting it by this Friday are pretty slim. And plus, that's a sort of a short leeway time anyway, because I want about a week just to get some stuff prepared for it. So two of the core people who are here all the time, well, one of them, of course, has the whole month of Fridays off. So that's cool. But the other one, Ian, he has every second Friday off. So he has this Friday off, which I said is too soon. And then not the following Friday, but the Friday after that, I believe that's the 25th. So I'm going to tentatively add it to the schedule for the 25th. And there's pretty much, It would take a catastrophe. Like I'd have to like maybe if I was found or caught in some kind of a scandal of some sort where people had to run away and I had to get canceled because I did some horrible thing like I squeezed the Charmin or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, we're going to be there. I have no doubt. So we're looking at the 25th, and let's pull this up. And another good reason for the 25th as well, not just because that helps out Ian a little bit so he can come in and catch it. Next week we have the oh, is it the 26th? Prairie saying the 26th. Let me take a look. Where the banana bread are you guys? Oh, there you are. Let me bring up Discord. Well, we won't even bring up Discord. Let's just bring up the calendar. We'll bring up the actual banana bread calendar here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's the calendar for us. Yeah, no, 26. July 26 is yeah, 26. That's what you're saying, right? The 26th. Why was I saying the 25th? I was probably looking at, I don't know what I was looking at. But anyway, the 26th is going to be the date that we will do it. So that'll be kind of cool. I can't wait. And if we go over here to Discord, let's come over here to our schedule. All right. And there's right there. Whoops, I got to hit the edit button. All right. So right there, we've got the 25th. We're going to come down here to July 26th. Oh, this is going to be awesome. July 26th. Where am I? Oh, what? No, I don't want it down there, guys. July 25th. Oh, man. Here we go. I got to hit edit again. It's this thing in Discord. If I hit return by mistake, it will close it up on me. But what I have to do is hit option return. So there we go. Now, July 26th, we're going to start it at 9:15 a.m. And we'll put it tentatively, we're going to go to 4:45 p.m. We'll go longer. I mean, if we're having fun at that time and my voice is still working, we'll probably take it a little longer anyway. But this will be the 4,000 open to close live stream. Woohoo! Event. Oh, I want to throw the word event on there too. There we go. It is now in the schedule. So there we are. The 26th of July, we will be doing it. We will be here all day. I will be drinking coffee. I will be talking. We're going to do we'll do a lot of different things. If any of you guys want to make an appearance on the show, let me know. Talk to me. I have no problem bringing in a couple guests along the way. If any of you want to jump in and say hi, that would be kind of cool. That would be very, very cool. All right. Now I got that aside. Let's put this down because we are in that minute and a half before the bell. All right. Jungle says, I am up $1,400 on VFE since February. By the way, stationary engineer is the old name for boiler operator. Yes, I know what a boiler is. I've seen A Nightmare on Elm Street, so definitely know what a boiler is and a boiler room and why you shouldn't go in boiler rooms because it's scary. It's scary, and they're exactly the 26th. All right, we're getting close. I got the bell at the ready. It's not going to be as loud as it was on Friday because it's the beginning of the week. And, we got things. Whoa. It was like a preemptive bell, a premature bellation. I don't know what we can call that. That was just, I can't believe it. I can't believe I did that. All right, here we go. We got like 15 seconds left. This is going to be great. I do want to talk after the bell. I do want to talk a little bit about WestJet. So there's some interesting news coming out of WestJet. All right, here we go. And it's time. The market closes. The Monday is in the books. All right. Welcome to the after market hours. We are now finished for the market for the day. It's in the books. Everything is okay. All right. So, WestJet. As we know, WestJet had a little bit of an issue with a strike and with those mechanics. But the strike has been resolved. The mechanics got what they want. Everything's happy, right? Well, not quite. The problem is WestJet canceled a lot of flights. And they ticked off a lot of customers because one of the things that has been coming out as WestJet's trying to put the pieces back together, it's come out that a lot of these customers whose flights were canceled weren't even informed. It's not like it's like, oh, we're canceling your flight. Let's let you know with lots of warning that we're going to be canceling your flight. No way. A lot of customers were finding out last minute that their flights were canceled. And it's not like the WestJet had no, if WestJet was forced to cancel a flight at the last minute, well, then yes, it'd be hard for them to tell, but they had plenty of notice that they were going to do it. And that was kind of the issue that people have been having with WestJet. So, a lot of people, a lot of complaints. It's going to be one of these things. And here's the funny thing. Anybody who tries to sue, not sue, but anybody who tries to make some claims for restitution because because when the airlines mess up, you can get money from them for that. That's kind of one of the new rules. But there's this one giant exception that's in there. It's safety. So all WestJet, and this is what a lot of the airlines have actually been doing. So if, for example, the airline is late or delayed by 14, 15 hours, they don't even have to tell you why. They can just say, well, yeah, it was, we had to delay it for safety concerns. And that absolves them of having to pay that. I believe the fine's roughly $1,000 for a delayed flight that they have to pay out to the customers, to every customer who was on that flight. As long as, unless it's a safety issue. So for safety issues, they don't have to. The problem is that's one of those things that they have certainly been doing. So it wouldn't surprise me. It really, really, really wouldn't surprise me that that they pull the safety issue on here, because they could say, well, yeah, we had to cancel because of without mechanics, that would be a big safety issue, and they could probably get away with it on that. But I think I was watching something on CBC the other day, and one was it WestJet? It might have been WestJet. I don't know. It was either WestJet or Air Canada, but one flight got delayed because they had one of their bathrooms wasn't working. They wanted to take the time to fix it, and they called that a safety issue. And they got away with it. Even though it didn't impact the flying of the plane, it made it a little more inconvenient for passengers because you wouldn't have two bathrooms to use. But that would have been a situation where I think they probably should have had to pay their $1,000. It's just that thing. Now, Jay's saying here, I'd rather drive than flying with Air Canada or WestJet. Yeah, it's understandable. It is understandable. I know that, if you have never driven from coast to coast in Canada, you got to do it. You got to do it. Turn it into a vacation, because Canada is it's a beautiful country. And I've driven from, Halifax to Vancouver. I even once decided to do the bus back when the bus traveled all the way across the country. I once took the bus from Halifax to Vancouver. It was like the bus was going 24/7, because you just switch buses and you'd be going through the night, through the day. I believe it took almost 5 days to get there. But, it was great scenery. So now, of course, if you don't want to take the bus or if you don't want to drive, another option out there is the railroad. I think I think Via might still go to the prairies, but part of me is thinking that they may have canceled that last little leg. I'm not 100% sure on that. Anybody who can confirm that, whether Via now stops at Quebec. I have a feeling they don't do the Maritimes anymore, but which is a shame. Which is absolutely a shame. Trevor says, "Miss the bell, drats," and Mary's in the house. So Mary's in the house. That means you know what that means. You guys have to hit that like button because we got to keep Mary happy. So hit the like button. I'll have a cup. I'll have a drink of coffee. Very good. So yeah, I did taste some blue. So I know a couple of you did. So thank you. Thank you a lot. Larry says, y'all make it sound horrible. Do Canada Airlines have first or business? I think there's a business class, but technically it's not very different. I don't think it's much different from the regular class. It's just basically a curtain between first class and everybody else. Your biggest advantage, I think, with business class in Canada is just that because you're up towards the front of the plane, you get off first. Yeah, and I think they even board you first too. So I think you get on first, you get off first, and I think you also get a better selection of beverages and things like that up in the front. But I don't know. Personally, I, it doesn't matter to me. I'll fly. I'll fly whatever class. As long as I have a window seat, I'm happy because that's what I pretty much do most of the time in the plane. I spend a lot of it just watching the clouds or watching the land when we're close enough that I can see it. So, yeah. Bleak says, hey, hey. Hello, Bleak. Now, one thing I will say, sorry, going back to Larry again. One thing I'll say is a lot of the airlines here are pushing the whole no carry-on either. So they're starting to look at these economy tickets where you don't even get an airline, but then anything that you do want. So for example, airline, you don't get a carry-on, but then you can get a carry-on for a price. And then if you want to check some luggage, there will be a price on that. So those are all those things there will become add-ons, and as it is now, like even a couple of decades ago, you could for free choose whatever seat you wanted on the plane. But now, now if you want to get, like if I want a window seat, I can look and see what seat I'm assigned. And if it's not a window seat and I want to change it, I'm going to have to pay to do that. So, they really do milk you. They really do. And they find fees of every kind anything they can find a way to put a fee on it. They do. Now, the big thing too, and for those of you who are not in Canada, so for the Americans, we don't have a lot of airlines up here. So as a result, our air travel is much, much more expensive. I know people back when I used to live in Nova Scotia, I knew people that they would actually drive down, they would drive to New Brunswick and down into Maine, and then catch a plane in Maine over to Washington, and then go up if they were trying to do a cross country, just because it was cheaper to do that than to pay the air flight up here. So very, very expensive because once again, and Canada's famous for this, not having a lot of selection. So monopolies and oligopolies, we just got them left, right, and center. Jungle Eddie says, Air Canada's business is oh God, excuse me. Air Canada's business is plush with lots of leg room. Oh, I need a drink after that. All right. And we have Jersky with a happy Monday. And I know, no carry-on. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy. Tanya says, loved discount airlines in Europe. Flew everywhere cheaper than driving. Oh, just give me 1 second. I had a little tickle in my throat. Don't know what that was. All right. Jordan says, so here's some good news. I finally got some of my handmade glass in a local head shop. Ooh, that's cool. So it only took 2 years to convince someone my glass is worth selling. That is pretty awesome. I know that you've been working at that for a while, so it's always good. It actually goes to show perseverance. Perseverance will get you everywhere. So I definitely love that. All right, we're going to take a final look at the market here in just a minute. Just a minute. I did want to mention as well. What was it I going to mention? Split core stocks. So we do have that video dropping tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited about this one because I've been kind of putting off the split cores because a lot of people keep asking me, "Can you do a split core? Can you do a split core video?" And I'm like, well, I want to wait till I can see some recovery on the horizon. And I'm starting to see that now with split cores because I keep telling people that with a split core stock, one of the big things is that when times are tough, they will cut their dividends. And that makes them not the best when it comes to high dividend stocks during bad times. During the good times, they're usually fine. You have a nice, reliable, high dividend, which is great. But and this is kind of this one thing, and I don't think I mentioned this in the video, so I'm going to mention this here. One of the things that I definitely want to say is that if you are looking at an income retirement, portfolio, and you're relying on monthly money that's not disrupted, then I would almost say stay away from split core. Or just be prepared that when we start moving into bad markets, so if we start to move in a bear market, then swap them out. So that's just something I just wanted to add because I don't know if I made that 100% clear in the video. Larry says, "What's a split core?" Well, Larry, you'll have to watch the video. But no, in a nutshell, it's like, well, it's basically, even though it's a stock, it's kind of like an ETF in many ways. So a company will come and they will pick up a basket of stocks, and then what they will do is they will offer two different types of shares for that basket. So one will be what we call preferred shares. And those are the ones that were kind of interesting because what they do is they take one type of share and they turn it into sort of growth, into sort of a full-on growth. They call those ones capital shares. And that's what they're all about, is growing the capital in that. And the other shares, the preferred shares, they get all the dividends. They get all the distributions. And that's what they're made for. They're basically made for income. So you end up with these two different types of stocks. And income investors will, of course, love the split core, the preferred ones, because they will have like 13%, 14% dividends. And that's fantastic. But as I said, when you do go into a bear market, they can start cutting dividends. So when that happens, all of a sudden you may have this fantastic, you may love the stock that's been paying you a 13% monthly dividend. And all of a sudden you got 1 month, 2 months, maybe 3 months in a row where you just don't get it because, and it depends on the actual stock, on which one. Like, I do break down in the video how many months each of these have missed, because pretty much all of them have missed some. One of the 5 that are in the list that are coming out had a perfect record without missing a dividend. So it's kind of a neat thing that way. But as I'm saying, if you are if you have an income stock and you're relying on your income to, help you pay your expenses, especially in retirement, then if you're going into a bear market, you don't want a situation where all of a sudden one of your big heavy hitters is not paying for this, for a month or maybe 2 months or maybe 3 months if it's bad enough, because that can then sort of that'll impact the money that you have, making it a lot harder on you, of course. So that's just one of the things with split core stocks. Now, here's the other sort of thing, and I think I do mention this in the video. Back before the bear market, so back around the pandemic, the beginnings of the pandemic, split cores were doing really well. And they were pretty much the highest dividends you were going to find. So if you went to a dividend list, you would find a lot of split core on that list. And they tended to be at the top because they had great dividends. But now, with between covered calls, leverage, things like that, there's a lot more options there. So they're not as prominent, but they're still there. Like let's show you. Just give me a second. We'll pull this up. We'll go over here to TMX Money. All right, so TMX Money, if you scroll down, they have lists. And one of their lists is their top dividend list. So these are where all your crazy dividends are. Let's take a look. We're going to scroll down here a little bit. All right, and as we move down here, here's one right here, DGS. So dividend growth split core. And you can see a 19.35% yield. Here's another one, FTN, Financial 15 split core right there, 18.51%. And here's another one. Let's see, Life and Bank split core, 15.89%. So they're here, but you'll notice that around them now, we've got all of these other ones, like with the Hamilton Canadian Yields. We got the Harvest Premium Yield. We got the Global X Enhanced Equal Weight. So there's a lot of other options now. But before, you didn't have as many options. So if you wanted those really crazy high dividends, you were looking at things like this. Like before the big explosion in covered calls, if you didn't go with split core, some of your best dividends out there were going to be things like Canoe, sitting shy of 10%. So the whole environment has changed quite a bit. All right. I'll leave this up here for a second because we're going to do our last check of the market. Jay says, I might swap my portfolio with ZLB and cash ETF just before the election. Okay. So just sort of taking some precautions with what's happening in the election. And it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out. Like I know that Biden has doubled down that he's not going to resign. He's not going to step down. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this is all going to shake down. But if they are going to make any changes in the U.S., they have to make it soon. They would have to definitely make it, I think, before their big convention in August. So just something to think about. Tim says 19% dividend. Is that Bernie Madoff back in business? I know. Well, here's the funny thing. So DGS right here with this 19% dividend. I actually have that one in the list tomorrow. So you might be surprised when we actually do an analyst on it and look at the total returns on it. So that is one to check out. But I will tell you right now, DGS has missed dividends in the last 3 years. They've missed more than one dividend. But, sometimes if you have a high enough yield, you can miss a couple of dividends and still do pretty well. But anyway, check out that video. I'm not going to go any more into split core because otherwise there'll be no need to watch the video tomorrow, right? So we'll leave that be for now. Now, just to point out, channel members, you can already watch that video. It is up for the channel members already. So that's one of those benefits of being a channel member is that you can go in a day early and get to watch the video that everybody else is going to watch tomorrow, which is kind of cool. All right. Over to our final look at the market. We did stay in the green. So the TSX ended the day 0.30%. S&P 500 up 0.1%. NASDAQ 0.23%. Gold, silver, WTI, all in the red. What can we say? Yeah, oh well. But Bitcoin has stayed above at 0.73%. Now, mind you, assets like Bitcoin, commodities like gold, silver, and oil, those prices are going to continue to move because they move 24/7. So, they can certainly change quite a bit. So, all right. Back over to our our heat map, and look at this. CSU's had a pretty good day. So Constellation Software looking good again, looking good. And like I said, the banks all looking pretty good. CNQ up a little bit. While CNR made a little bit, they were down a little more than what they were. So not too shabby at all. Just trying to see if there's anything in here that looks really, really interesting. Well, BCE, BCE is on the rise. Let's actually pull up communications for a second. So yeah, Bell is up by 0.5%. TELUS is up a full percent. And well, Rogers, the one that has the most debt, is down a tiny bit. So kind of interesting. All right. Yeah, and everything looks fine over here with these ETFs. Let's just go over to the US market. As you can see, Nvidia having another strong day. They still haven't gotten back to that 100, was it 135? So they still have a little ways to climb, but I have a feeling they can do it. I have full faith. I still have a lot of faith in Nvidia. But yeah, that's not too shabby. Let's pull that off. Yeah, it's not that bad. And Tesla, we'll come into Tesla here for a minute. Because Tesla, of course, as you guys saw last week, look at this. This is last week in Tesla. And they haven't, it's not that they've stopped. It looks like they're starting to sort of sideways a little bit. And that would be healthy. It would actually be very healthy. Even a small correction would be healthy for Tesla. But I think if you're looking for the massive growth, that time is past, at least this time around. So, I think everything will be much slower moving forward. But still, that's pretty impressive for Tesla. Pretty impressive. Gotta like it. You gotta like it. All right. And then, of course, crypto for that last time. It's not a bad looking crypto. Not a bad. It's nice too because gosh, the last few times we pulled up crypto, I almost needed sunglasses from the amount of red coming at me. It was like definitely in a bad place. But now everything is looking much better. Things are looking much more solid, and by now, hopefully, most people, like somebody had brought up on yesterday, actually on This Week, something about what the Fed, the U.S. Fed, saying that Bitcoin was getting ready for a $50,000 drop, and it's like and I was just like, well, I haven't heard anything about that. And I looked just because hey, maybe I missed it, but I think that was more or less fake news. I think that was fake news because I just can't find it. And if that were true, and that amount of fear mongering had been put into the market, Bitcoin would have dropped big time today. And they did drop, but they've recovered. So I wouldn't put. I'm not putting any credence in that one for now, until of course I see some data. All right. Jersky says, I can't wait for the split core video. Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one tomorrow. So that's going to be, oh yeah, that's going to be a good one. And I've also put up the vote for the next deep dive. So I think right now, last I checked, and let's find out here. Give me a second here. We'll come over to here, but we're going to actually go to we'll go to the studio. Here we go. And there you go. There's that 3978, by the way. So yeah, right now it seems like it's a race between EQ Bank and Go Easy. I have a feeling that EQ Bank might win, which is fine. Now, I did do a deep dive on EQ Bank a while back, but a lot of people missed it because I actually did I tried this 2-for-1 where I did both Tesla and EQ Bank in the same deep dive. And I discovered quickly afterwards that everybody just thought it was the Tesla deep dive and didn't bother. And those people who weren't interested in Tesla didn't watch it. And then they were like, you need to do an EQ one. And I'm like, it's at the back of that one. I just did EQ. But yeah, this one will be EQ all by itself. If they win, it looks like they might do it. I do need to start scripting this tomorrow. So if you haven't voted yet, head to that community tab, get in there, vote for whoever. And here's what I always say too, because just for those people who don't know how this works. So you guys always make requests. I put them in a pool. I pull them from the pool and I put them up for a vote. Now you'll see these numbers here, like the 2, the 1. That's because that's how many times this is Go Easy's second attempt. So you get 3 attempts. If you can't do it, and if you can't win the vote in 3 attempts, you're gone. You're gone. Not to say that you'll never come back. You will, because if somebody requests you again, I'll throw you back into the pool, and then you'll slowly make your way back up. But that's what happens. Now, if we have a close call, so and let's say that, for example, this was EQ. Let's say Go Easy was on their 3rd week, but they came in second and it was a close race. In that case, what I do is I give them an extension. So instead of them being gone after 3 weeks, they can get that 4th week. And, we'll give them another chance in a case like that. Now, one other thing, whoever gets the lowest votes. So right now it's Kojiko. They're gone. They don't even get a second chance. They're like, sorry, you suck. You didn't get enough votes. You're gone. So that's kind of the way that we do that. We handle it that way as well. So that way there, no matter what, every week there's going to be at least 2 brand new companies in there. And when we get to a week, so for example, in in a couple more weeks, these will all be at 3 if they were to all survive. And then we could have a big, because the last group we had a bunch of 3s and they all fell. Hence we got all these 1s. So sometimes you get a week where almost everything is new. And just to show you guys very quickly here, we'll go over to where the banana bread. Oh, we're in the wrong thing. Okay, that's why it wasn't there. All right, over on the Discord here, this here is the pool. So I keep it here. Canadian stocks, US stocks, ETFs. I add them in. If you see the little CM, that's because a channel member requested it, and I do my best to give those ones priority when I'm pulling. So, for example, when I do the next ETF one, I'm probably XIU because it was requested by a channel member. Is probably going to go into that one. So yeah, and these are the ones currently just sort of sitting here waiting for their turn. So we do have a few good ones, but at the same time, I say, just throw them at me. There's a couple ways you can do it. We have, for example, we have deep dive requests over here on Discord. You can throw that in, just throw it in here, and I will throw it in the pool. Now we also have brand new over here. We have requested videos. So this one here is basically where you can come up with, if you have an idea or there's a video you want to see, not so much deep dives. If you want a deep dive, throw it in the deep dive request. But if you are like saying, okay, I would like to see a list of high dividend ETFs, then throw it in here, or you want to see a list of, I'm looking for high dividend energy stocks, throw it in here. And then I go through here, and then, and if I find something in here that's really good, I'm like, okay, I'll grab it. No guarantee. I mean, I always say no guarantee on these ones. If you throw something in, if you throw it in and I look at it and I'm like, I'm not sure about that one. I may not do it, but it never hurts to throw it in here because, a lot of these will get made, or in some cases. So this one here from Tanya the other day, I actually took that question and answered it yesterday on this week, because I'm not going to make a video on that question, but I did create some content. I created a little talk over there on the live stream yesterday to do that. Okay, let's get caught up with you guys. All right, here we go. Jay says the only good thing about Rogers is their credit card. If you have 2 services, you get 3% cash back. Everything else, customer service, are horrible. Yes, Rogers. Rogers does not have the best customer service, and it's very much with Rogers, and not to say it isn't with the other 2 as well, but they're very much a sell hustle amongst their employees. Like they have, when you call in, they're not there to fix your problem. They're there to sell you more products. That's their main goal. And a lot of times they'll just throw things at you. It's kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. They will do that. So you kind of have to, if you're using a Rogers service, you have to sort of come into it especially if you're making a call, you have to sort of be aware that they're going to try to, to basically increase the amount on your bill, your monthly payment. That's what they're going to try to do. So you want to kind of be prepared for that and come in and say, look, all right, no, I don't want that service. I don't want that service. I want this fixed, or I want this bill, or I want my bill fixed. I want, or, whatever the problem is. So you kind of have to come in there with a plan, because they will use every tactic under the book to get you. And gosh, if you call in Rogers and you want to quit, well, the first person who takes your call, they're not even authorized to be able to cancel your service for you. They have to send you to a specialized group of retention agents who will then, they will then throw everything at you to try to keep you from going, throw some deals at you. So that's what you're in for. And I imagine it's probably very similar with TELUS and Bella as well. All right. Al says up 8K today, still down 23K since NVIDIA peaked. Still, you got to take, 8K, you're climbing back up. You got to take it. You got to take it. Al says my Canadian RRSP is up 8K from last month. I checked now, better than nothing. Yeah. That's not too shabby. But also keep in mind, and I always say this, when you say that I'm up 8K sounds good. But if you have a very big portfolio, 8K may not be that huge. So a lot of times it comes with your percentages. So I always love hearing percentages, like I'm up 15%. Because if you have a big portfolio or a little portfolio and you're up 15% in either, to me, that means you're doing well, 15%. It's a nice number right across the board. Jersky says, GSY is my best stock if I had a crazy run up and drop last week. Nice. Let's see. Mario says, I didn't see the link to vote on EQ Bank or Go Easy. It should just be the first one when you go to the community tab, Mario. It should just be right there. So you should be able to go into the community tab and vote right away. Let's see. Al Bundy says, how much did it go up and down? Oh, that's the other one. Lewis says, REIT's making a wee bit of a comeback. Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing. As we get more rate cuts in Canada, that is going to really help REITs. REITs will benefit from that big time. And that's going to help them start to make the climb back. Because as I've shown you guys many, many times, we'll do it again. Why not? Why not? We'll do it again. All right. Let's see here. We can actually do it right here. So when we look, and we'll look at RioCan because, whoops. REI. Here we go. We'll look at RioCan for this one. Let's go to their 10-year. Let's actually, there we go. So when you look at RioCan, you can sort of see this is RioCan in normal times before the pandemic. And you can sort of see like pretty much their average is around, $25 to $26. That's where they tend to be most of the time. And that they're designed to provide, they give your dividends, they pass on all of their profits to you, but they're designed to maintain that. Then we had the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, we did go into a bull market, and look at this. They recovered fine. And they actually got exactly back to where they are comfortable, where they're designed to be. And then we went into a bear market. And then as the bear market continued, we went into our hiking rates like crazy. So that is that whole big slope. Bear market plus rate hikes. And now down here at the bottom, and let's pull this we'll go into a 3-year now so you can see it better. You can see we were already starting to see a little bit of a recovery starting to slowly creep its way in. And that's going to get better as we get more rate cuts. These are going to do good. So they're to me, as far as I'm concerned, we're at the bottom right now. So are we going to go all the way back up to 25? Yeah, we will, but not right away. It's not going to be sort of like all of a sudden, by Christmas, we're at $25. If I had to actually say when would be a more reasonable idea of when we're up there, I would say late 2025. So probably about a year and a bit to get up there. but you're going to get dividends and you're going to get some consistent growth, especially once we start seeing these rate cuts. And that's going to be great. Now, myself, as I've said before, I'm a total return investor. So once they've gotten back up, they're no longer that attractive to me because, you may say you're looking at a 6% dividend, but when they get back up here, that 6% is going to be more like a 4%. So I'll be looking at about a 4% return on investment, and I can do better with, more traditional total return stocks. So that's what I will do. So with this one here, I have it in the challenge. I'll ride it up, and probably once I get definitely above $20, then I will start looking at, is it time? Is it time to get out and put it into something that's going to have a better total return? So, I'm going to ride it up, and I'm going to do it with this one. I'm going to do it with Timber Creek Financial. So they're another company that is very similar to a REIT, and I'll show you here, TF. And if we go to their 10-year, it'll look very familiar. All right, so here we go. So with it hasn't loaded everything. There is more here, but you can sort of see you've got this whole flat area here around $9. Then along came the pandemic. They went down, and then they got back up there. They got back up, no problem. Then, of course, bear market, rate hikes, and we're in the same boot. So this one here, right now it's at 7. So it's going to get back up to like $9, and I will probably sell this one as soon. This one here, I'll probably hold it until maybe even $9.50 because I have a lot of faith in it. So those are my two ones that I'm riding up. But I'm also looking at this here. So RMAX, this is a brand new ETF. So it's a Hamilton REITs Yield Maximizer. So I'll just go 1 month because, like I said, it's brand new. Like they started right here. So they opened at $16. And right now, look at this. They're already up to $16.43. So they have been doing well. In addition to that, now we don't have it here, but they're going to be paying out a dividend of around 13 cents per share. So that'll probably put their distribution yield, I keep guessing around 14%, somewhere's in there, 13, 14%. So, of course, it depends by the time they list that. And they could be much higher. So this one here has been doing fantastic. The only regret I have on this one is that I didn't get in much heavier at the beginning, because it's one of the neat things is that normally with these type of REITs or with these covered calls, a lot of times they start while the asset's doing great, and then of course they end up coming back down. So this is kind of the opposite. This one is starting when the asset is at rock bottom, and it's got a big way to ride it up. So this will be, in my opinion, this will be an ETF to watch. This will be an ETF to watch. I will certainly, even though it's going up like this, I will probably still add more, because I'm pretty confident that this is gonna do good. Now, once those REITs all start to get up towards the top, so RioCan up at the 25, Timber Creek Financial up around the 950, 960. Then this will probably cater off, and then it will be more or less just a straight up income. You're not going to get the extra growth that's happening in it right now. So I will ride that up to there. I'll decide. I mean, 16. If at that point, if it's still doing like, let's say 14%, I might stick around for a little bit. But for me right now, I'm very interested in what is going to happen as this sector recovers. So definitely something to watch. All right. Let's go back to Big Me. Mario says, I found the link and voted. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Sammer says the tokens Ocean Protocol and Singularity Net merged to Fetch. Fetch has also been renamed the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. Oh dear. Yeah. The world of crypto. Mario says Rogers has bad customer service. I left them. I was getting called to come back. Yeah. Yeah. It's we see I worked very briefly for Rogers. And pretty much, I was one of those agents, like, I'm surprised I didn't get fired because I was being told constantly, sell, 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 sell. And I would tell my manager, no. I would say, I'm not selling somebody something unless it makes sense for them to actually buy it. So if they have a broken phone, sure, I'll sell them a new phone. But I'm not going to upgrade them into something they don't need. I just will not do that. And I think I kind of intimidated my manager because, he would just walk away shaking his head, and he never would reprimand me, even though on the team I had the best customer service satisfaction, but I also gave away the most stuff. I gave away the most credits. Um, and sometimes I gave credits that I knew I would get in trouble if my manager only if he only had the yeah, those things that make you a little more aggressive. He just wouldn't. He just never would call me on it, because I know I got what. It's funny. One time, I got a woman from Beaverbank, and that's where my mom lives, in Beaverbank, Nova Scotia. So she called up and she had all these issues with her phone bill, and it was crazy. So after I finished working with her, I think I ended up wiping about $200 off of her phone bill. And I was just like, I was like, hey, I'm like, some of these things are just absolutely unfair. I don't care if they're policy, they're unfair. And I bent over backwards to help people out. So that was just the way I handled it. But yeah, the amount of stuff they used to go on about, you need to sell this, you need to sell that. Um, Now there was a lot of pressure on the people behind. So I don't blame the people on the phones. It's their bosses, it's the company behind them that are basically drilling it into them. So, what can you say? Sammer says, I don't like none of these telecommunication companies here. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you don't have to stick with the U.S. or with Canada. Sorry. I mean, there are telecommunication companies in the U.S. as well. Though I imagine some of them might operate in a similar way because it is all about the dollars. But it's one of those neat things. Like I always say, if you don't like the market in Canada, uh, put it in your U.S. account. Find something in the U.S. because there's a lot more variety down there. So sometimes you can get some really interesting picks. Jersky says GSY tickled 207, next day dropped to 185. Yeah, sometimes you can get it's kind of this whole thing. Let me. I haven't done this in a while, but we'll do it. Let's go over here. Bum ba dum bum. There we go. All right. There we go. What was that? Oh, this here was that was from the one-on-one I did with Amvas on the weekend. So we were looking at, that's actually a little bit of technical analysis. All right, let's boop a doop. I don't want. I can just scroll to white, but yet here I am actually erasing it. Like, come on, Candace, get with the program. All right, we're gonna freehand this. All right, so a lot of times you will have. I'm gonna just put some lines in here on the chart. Whoops. So let's say, for example, we're gonna call this 185 for no particular reason. We'll put in another line here. Let's say that's 175. And we'll put in another line up here. And don't mind my spacing because, there we go, 200. So what a lot of times will happen is as a stock is doing well. So we'll go to green because the stock is doing well. So, it might have a few corrections along the way. But when a stock is doing well, you have certain levels. So I like to call them psychological levels. And a lot of times what it boils down to is the actual number. So we're moving along. You look at 185. That's an interesting number, but it may not be a psychological level. So you may still pile through it. But all of a sudden you hit 200. Now, 200 is one of these even numbers. And a lot of traders get around that thing saying, oh my God, it hit 200. I need to sell. Because ironically, 200, even though it's only one above 199, it looks a lot bigger than one. So what you might get is when you hit that 200, all of a sudden, you may get a deep correction because those are those people who are going to sell. Now, luckily, most times when you have a psychological level like that, afterwards, it'll start moving again, and then it might hit that 200 again, and you might get the same thing. But if you do, you're probably not going to get as big as you did before, especially when we're dealing with a bullish, commodity. And then you can break through that 200 usually after a couple times, but you normally will get a big psychological level. And you can see this, especially with Bitcoin. So right now, as Bitcoin starts to recover, if Bitcoin were to go up to, and let's say it hits 75,000, that's a really nice looking number. That could be, in that case, that could absolutely be a psychological level because it is just above the all-time high. Hit 75,000, you'll get a bit of a sell-off and your price is going to plummet. So you can play that if you know this is going to happen. So in this case here with this stock here, if I know when we hit that psychological level, we're probably going to get something along this line. Well, here's what I would do. This is what I would do. I would come up here and I would, whoops, let's go to this one here. All right, I would probably sell. I may not sell all, but I'll sell some right here. And I would then, buy down here as we do that retest. So that's kind of that way that you can make yourself a little bit of money. Now, you don't have to do it with your whole thing. Like some people are like, it's fine. I'll just, it's we're not talking about a ton of money here. So, because even if you took, let's say, if you were talking about 100 shares that you sold at, and then you sold it at 200 and then you rebought it at 185, you're basically making 15 on each of them. So that becomes, that's just you've just basically, by doing that little maneuver, you have made 1,500. Oh, it turned it into a square, but it's supposed to be a zero. But that's kind of one of them little things. It's a little bit of a swing trade. But that's when you understand psychological levels and you sort of understand how things are going to go. Now, a lot of times, if you do sell here, you want to be sure, though, that you don't get too greedy here. Because as it's coming down, sometimes you could be like, oh, well, as soon as it starts to turn around. So as soon as it starts to turn around, I would grab it. So in this case, even if it looked like it was turning around here, I might not get all the way to 185. Maybe I'll be lucky and I get it at 190, in which case I've made $1,000. It's just something I sort of look at when I'm doing these type of things. All right, let's get back here. ZS says, is Manulife Corp a good stock to buy in fractions and feed for a few months? All right, so Manulife Financial, let's actually pull that up. I guess I need to bring back. It's like sometimes I'm like, why do I go to Big Head when I know that the next question I'm going to come right back here? So Manulife Financial. So they're one of our big three insurance companies in Canada. I definitely am very bullish on them long term. One of the nice things with them is they have recently made a deal with China, which has gotten them access to the Chinese market, which is huge. But let's look at them for the last 3 years. And you can see they've been just doing fantastic. Now, I don't know the exact date of when they got that Chinese deal, but I bet it was somewhere in this vicinity because look at the change in slope. But this has been a good stock, and I think it's going to maintain itself as a good stock. They also have a sort of a semi moderate, half decent dividend. But when you take a 4% dividend, you throw it into a curve like that going up. That's a pretty darn good total return. Well, I mean, in fact, let's take a look right now. Give me 1 second here. So sheet 5. And I'm just going to delete a few things off of the sheet here. There we go. I just wanted to delete the the stuff here from tomorrow's video, because you guys will see that in there. So, all right. So they're currently sitting at 36.85. 36.85 MFC. There we go. All right. So here's the thing. I'm just going to pull it over for a second. Let's just say we're going to look at lately. So that is basically towards, we'll do the 1 year. So we'll do the 1 year on them. All right. So at the beginning of the year, $24.99. That's all I needed to know. $24.99. Where's my 1 year category over here? All right. So their stock price has gone up 47.46%. Now, that's fantastic. But here's the big thing. Let's go to key data. You've had dividends in the last year as well. So they are a quarterly. So in this case here, just give me a second here. I'm going to do this on the other screen. We got 40 cents. Then we got 0.365. All right. And what are those? 3 of those. There we go. So they made $1.40. So they made $1.49.5. So we'll put that in there. 1.495. So that's how much you got paid in dividends. So that gives a total return of get rid of that. 53.44%. So that's not too shabby at all. And that's MFC. That's just year to date. Now, you could, if you were reinvesting these dividends, that number would be a little bit higher because that would compound that as well. So that's kind of a really neat thing about a total return stock. And MFC right now is one of the best. Like, look at this. That's fantastic. And I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. I think they're a good company. I think they're a solid company. Now, there are things that you have to sort of put in mind. There are different black swan events that will certainly affect a company like this. So if, for example, there were absolutely devastating, let's say a hurricane that made it up and went through Atlantic Canada, that could certainly hurt them a little bit, depending on how bad it is. But, you have to sort of look like they have provisions aside for natural disasters because they know what's happening. They know they're happening at increased frequencies. But if you had something that was just absolutely unheard of, like a natural disaster on a level that we have not seen before, sort of like comparing the pandemic to a flu. You could see some impact with that. But even then, like I said, I still think they would bounce back, and I think they would still be fine in the end anyway. But a company I do love, Manulife Financial. They are, oh my God, I'm like looking at this right now, and I'm like, why don't I have them in the challenge? Why didn't I put them in? Because I do love, and I used to swing trade these guys as well back in the early part of the pandemic. So, I love this company. All right, let's come back here. Prairie says GWO, MFC, and SU are currently my top 3 holdings. Total return, and look here, there we go. He's got the 57 there, and so that, and we were just looking at the 1 year with 53. So, Prairie's doing even better. So gotta love that. Jungle says VFV is up 18.41% in my RRSP since late January. That's not too bad. Jay says, I only stay with Rogers because Zoomer Wireless got bought out. With Zoomer Wireless, they have CARP membership discount, even if you are not a senior age, 10% discount at Motel 6, etc. Okay, fair enough. I dislike Rogers a lot, but my internet is Rogers. You don't have a lot of choices. In this case here, they're amazingly enough in Ottawa, they're pretty darn reliable. So I like it. And the deal we have, I still think we're paying too much, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. All right. So we're coming up to the end, guys. If you got any last minute questions, throw them in the chat. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. so good. Oh, very, very good. And after supper, Jill actually picked up some banana. Uh, they're like a banana flavored popsicle. So I'm gonna have one of those later, and it'd be like, very good. It's not banana bread, but it's a cool version. It's a cool version for sure. Another thing I did want to mention too, yesterday was absolutely bonkers. We had so many people in chat. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. I think, and let me double check here. We peaked at 53. That was the highest number of people we had at one time in that chat. And I think that might be, no, oh no, we had 54 once before. So yeah, we almost broke a record. We almost broke a record. So hopefully we do soon. But what I did want to point out is, especially right now, if you are a channel member, okay, you get a free super chat every single month. So, and I'll show you. Let's just, yeah, you guys will have to see two of me for a moment, but let me show you how that works. I guess I have to actually go to the show. Let's see. My channel. We got to go to live. Oh, it was already there. Okay, here we go. So when you come down here, you got the little dollar sign. That's normally where you go to do regular supers. So when you come in here, you'll see this free member milestone chat. And you click on it, and it's just like a super. So I'm just going to put just like a super. There we go. All right. And bang. And it will come in, and it will look like a super in there. Now, I've just used my 1 month one, so I have to wait another month to get a free one of these. But that's kind of a cool thing, because when we look at chats like sort of yesterday, where things are going so fast, I have to start skipping stuff. This is a way to prevent you from getting skipped. So if you're a channel member, you got this. And of course, if you're not a channel member, you have the other options as well. You could do a real super chat, but they all take precedence, and they will all get read and answered. That's just a little rule that comes with the channel. And here we go. Here's Al Bundy. Let me get rid of that, because Candace to infinity, yay! Exactly. And see, and here's another one. So yeah, you guys have that. Use that on busy days if you're a channel member. If you're not a channel member, super chats will definitely get your question answered. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. So, and plus those are great ways to earn extra streams as well. So, just put that aside. Woohoo! And blueberry ice cream. I like blueberry ice cream too. I remember as a kid, used to go to Dairy Queen. It was the only place that had blueberry ice cream. And it was just fantastic. I did love it. Definitely loved it. Mario says, I like Moon Mist ice cream. I think I've had Moon Mist. I'm trying to remember what it tastes like, but I'm pretty sure it's good. I think you're onto something there, Mario. Jersky says, I had MFC for a couple of years, then sold it around 25 for a 10% profit, and I'm regretting that trade. Oh, yes, that happens. That happens. What can you do? All right, guys, we're at the end. It's been another fantastic stream. You guys all rock. We're going to be back here on Wednesday. See what the market has in store for us then. And now we have that 4,000 stream scheduled. So July 26th, put that on your calendars. No worries if you are working that day. You'll be able to check into whatever part you want, because the whole replay will be available. Because the stream itself, I think it works out to 7.5 hours. And I believe the limit is like about 12 hours. So it will be available. So that'll be so much fun. In the meantime, we'll be there. Tomorrow we will have, of course, that split cord video. We'll be back here Wednesday. Until then, everyone, take care. Have a fantastic start to your week. Bye, everybody. Oops, I had a false send. I have to click it again. Every so often, it's like the chat says, nope, you can't leave yet. You can't leave yet. All right, here we go. We will try one more time. Goodbye, everybody.